Yeah,
Absolutely, like start saying.
some people are yeah, that's.
Okay, call the meeting, special finance committee meeting. Sorry about that, folks. 6 o'clock. Representatives Team Shinbrot, Fritchie, Gardner, Pulaski, and Powers are present. Representative Norman is excused and Umbris is excused. Okay. To bring up new business, 3.1, 2024-921-2 American Rescue Plan Act fund allocation. Representative Pulaski read into the record. Resolution, please.
Resolution authorizing the reallocation of excess American Rescue Plan funds returned to town prior to December 31st, 2026. Whereas the American Rescue Plan Act 2021, ARPA, was a federal stimulus package enacted to help address the COVID-19 pandemic and its economic impact by providing funds to municipalities for uses such as infrastructure, public services, and overall economic recovery. And whereas the Groton Town Council allocated ARPA funds toward various eligible purposes ranging from town projects to community partner initiatives in multiple rounds taking place in fall 2021, spring 2022, spring 2023, fall 2023, spring 2024, totaling $8,587,894.04. And whereas there is currently $492,246 in excess ARPA funds, which have been returned to the town, resulting from previously obligated ARPA projects being performed under budget, no longer requiring the full amount of previously allocated funds, not occurring as originally proposed or for other reasons, returned ARPA funds. And whereas for ARPA requirements, ARPA funds must be allocated by December 31st, 2024, with the deadline of expenditure by December 31st, 2026. And as such, the town council must reallocate the returned ARPA funds toward other eligible purposes that were obligated prior to December 31st, 2024. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Groton Town Council hereby reallocates the returned ARPA funds to the following eligible purposes, which were obligated prior to December 31st, 2024. Sutton Park revitalization, $242,246. Town of Groton housing rehabilitation and home buyers assistance program, $200,000. And human services assistance programs, $50,000. And may it be further resolved that John Burt, in his capacity as town manager, be and hereby is authorized and directed to prepare and execute on behalf of the town an interagency agreement or memorandum of understanding with each town department or agency managing the aforementioned ARPA projects to confirm the reallocation of ARPA funds to and the total amount of ARPA funds obligated toward each such project. May it be further resolved in the event additional excess ARPA funds beyond the returned ARPA funds already reallocated above are returned to the town at any time prior to December 31st, 2026, that the Groton Town Council hereby makes an automatic contingent reallocation of all such additional excess funds to the Town of Groton Housing Rehabilitation and Home Buyers Assistance Program, for which ARPA funds were previously obligated for eligible uses prior to December 31st, 2024, and refer the item to the RTM per Rule 6.5.3. So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Discussion? Wondering if anybody has any questions. We have these wonderful gentlemen here to answer all of the above questions. We have a list on the bottom. Manager Burt Director Reiner. Director Barry. It's pretty straightforward stuff. This is where the money is going if we read the issues
Yeah.
that are behind.
And if we don't allocate, then we lose it.
Correct.
Mm.
So,
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
part is, I just wondered whether we might want to consider changing the amount of the allocation between housing rehabilitation and homebuyers assistance and human services assistance to put more to human services
Well,
assistance.
It can't be changed at this level. You'd have to reject it,
Let's
veto
stick
it and
with
send
this
it
the way
back.
it is.
Yeah, you'd have to send it back. Plus,
Yeah.
we created that, if you remember in the budget, we created that new Human Services Assistance Fund.
Yes.
And we seeded it. We didn't put a ton in there, but the plan all along was we figured we'll probably need to take some out of contingency as we get a gauge on how much is needed. Or we're kind of moving away from the ARPA funding into that
Well,
permanent
yes,
funding.
this is a dead program,
Mm.
basically,
Right.
from our point of changing
Right.
things as of the end of this year.
Right.
But it's just that if things go distinctly sideways,
well, we'll figure it out when it
Yeah, we
happens.
have-
But the
we-
money's-
We have a few sources,
Right.
we have a couple
We have-
sources
we
of
have
funds.
some revenue
Yeah,
sources. That's why we're in finance.
well, this is why I asked the
yeah,
question.
yeah.
because
No,
it's
it's a good
good. It's a
question. Yeah,
great
yeah.
question.
Nobody's,
Yeah.
nobody's saying anything about the
Mm.
question, Doris. It's like anything.
You know, I'm.
We don't have
We have instant
the crystal ball.
crystal ball. right?
So let's not put the cart before the horse, as
Yeah.
they like to say, and I think this is all good. I don't know if anybody has any other questions.
It's great. I would
Okay,
like to ask.
Representative Gardner.
I know I think it was last December, we approved some funding for the skate park
Hmm.
at Sutton Park. And I was approached by a couple of people that use the park frequently, wondering when the work was gonna begin.
Yeah.
And now we're allocating more funds for it. So have we actually not begun work on the skate park?
Well, Mark can update on that, but it's going through the permitting process right now. It's not a super quick thing to
Okay.
get to that point. I think, yeah.
Yeah, so as John mentioned, we're going through the permitting process now. The expectation is that once we get through permitting, we will develop the construction documents, which Kenton Frost, this is Chad Frost from Kenton Frost, they're the firm that's doing the design work for us. Once we have the permitting, they will finish up with the construction drawings, we'll go out to bid. And currently, the plan is that we would start construction this spring.
Okay.
And the funds looking at tonight isn't part of skate. Well, it's, I guess those, see,
Yeah,
those,
it's adjoining, well,
yeah.
it's adjoining, the money that hopefully will be approved this evening is to do other work that is just outside of the skate park.
and especially the playground, that's the most
Yeah,
expensive
that's-
item. Yeah, and that would wrap it, assuming everything under the bid, that would wrap up the entire project.
And also, so John Reiner, Director of Planning and Development, with these ARPA funds, we have to allocate or obligate the funds by December 31st of 2024, and we have to spend them by December 31st, 2026. So part of the reason why we picked putting them in each pot of money is we know we can spend those in each of those categories. And if there's other need for things like human services, as the manager said, that come up later, there are some other places we can take that money from, but the ARPA is really restricted. And if we don't spend it, we lose it within that time period.
Yeah, Representative Umritz has arrived.
Oh, great. Thank you for coming.
Out of curiosity more than anything else, how much do we usually go through in the housing rehabilitation homebuyer assistance program on average? I don't know.
So it's a revolving loan fund, and we go through it as fast as mortgages get paid back, it's out the door. So when we had the first $175,000 that was allocated towards this, I think we received applications for, I think it was over 400,000.
Okay.
And we did very little notice about it. It was just word of mouth. So, I mean, do I think we could have millions in this? Yes.
We had something many years ago specifically targeted for Quantic Bridge, and they did some amazing work with little money.
Yep.
People did. They did.
And I think this will come back and be useful eventually for other projects.
This
Yeah.
is this, so it's,
Mhm.
so I think it's a great project.
Representative Fritchie, any questions? Anybody else? Representative Umbris, any questions? He's muted.
Volume.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you for attending. Appreciate you coming.
My kids are in the background. Sorry if you hear them.
Okay, all good. Okay, I see no other questions. I make a motion for a vote. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Nope, that passes 6-0. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Next piece of business, I don't have a piece of paper for.
Oh, yeah,
No, I
combined.
never got. That's what I'm trying to tell everybody, but nobody was. Our next piece of business is Sutton Park renovations. I'm gonna read the resolution in. Resolution approving additional funds for renovations to Sutton Park, whereas the town council sets a goal to complete the needed improvements at the town Sutton Park, and whereas the estimated cost for completion of Sutton Park renovations is $1,715,133, and whereas the town wishes to expend American Rescue Plan funds and general funds balance to complete the Sutton Park project now, therefore be it resolved that the town council approves the appropriation of $1,715,133 for completion of the Sutton Park renovations project, with $242,246 of the cost coming from the American Rescue Plan Act funds, and the remaining $1,472,887 from the capital project fund balance, and to refer the matter to the RTM for Rule 6.5.3. So moved.
Second.
Great. Discussion. Go ahead.
We thought of allocating where you can buy a bench or you can buy a tree, sponsor a tree, anything like that.
Well, I think that park's big enough that we could always add on, but the bulk of this is the playground.
Yeah, and we're actually working on a project right now that will be posted on our website for folks to make, purchase memorial benches.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, we could certainly do some, and we had a really successful program up at the former Millway School where people purchased memorial trees, and I think we planted like 15 different trees. So something like that is certainly possible.
And we're also starting fundraising on the Connecticut Plains Park playground too,
Yes,
which will be, what, 800,000 to $1 million potentially.
yes.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm. That's our only fully ADA accessible playground, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. Mhm.
And you're gonna keep that alive with the bird.
That
Okay.
will be up to the public. It's not what I would select the public.
Is that popular or is it not?
My granddaughter spent
What's that?
hours and hours.
I need that piece of paper so I can make a snapshot of it so I can read it when the time comes. That last piece was Sutton Park, please. Piece that I
Oh.
just wrote, because I don't have that page.
Oh, you don't have that in there? Huh?
No, I don't have that in my
I think you're being special, like, for
You can keep
over
that.
30 years of cutlery.
packet.
Yeah, you can keep that. You can keep that. I've got two. I thought you might need one.
I'm good.
I brought one just in case.
Yeah, I mean, you drive by that any day, any nice day, and there's 30 or 40 cars in the parking lot.
It's a great playground. People
It is,
come from
yeah.
all over.
Yes, people have made the remarks to me that because of the material that's in the playground, the state-of-the-art stuff, the children are that much safer being there, and,
Yes,
you know, Mark, you've done a wonderful job. and you should,
well, that was here, but I can't take
I
credit.
don't take credit for that, but that's not the point. You're a good director of it, and it's
It's been
duly noted
maintained.
by
Yeah.
many different people out of our town, not in our town.
Yeah.
That actually come here, the kids play football or soccer or
Right.
lacrosse, and, you know.
Yeah,
We-
that, I mean, we're talking for Quantic Plains on Sutton, but the Quantic Plains, the Terrace Centennial Playground has been well to death. It was put in 2007 and 2008, and as John mentioned, we are starting to plan to replace that, and we're going to be doing lots of fundraising. But it's worn out. There are parts that we have not replaced, just because, and I can speak specifically to that roller. That was a tough pill to swallow, but that was $10,000 to replace that one section of that roller. Yeah, a
Guaranteed.
lot of money. And to me, they're like printers. You know, you get them, I won't say cheap, but, you know, they get you when you have to replace parts. And I mean, I've spent $1,200 on a little round piece of plastic. Yeah, and it's proprietary, so you can't go out and shop.
And there's no aftermarket part.
There's no aftermarket parts, and I wouldn't go that route anyway, just to protect the town, because if someone got hurt, any good lawyer is gonna say, well, where did you get that part? And as soon as you say, well, you know, we bought it through Amazon, they can tell you, get out the checkbook and start adding.
And kind of part of the exciting thing for this to me is the two parks, of course, are across the street from each other, Sutton and Quantic Plains, but also eventually we'll have Gloucester right next door to there. We're working on, you've got, you know, of course, here in the library, but eventually the submarine, the submarine sale, the Groton sale will be here out front here. We have a challenge grant that the planning department received. For one thing, Grasso Gardens will be expanding. We're gonna totally redo the boardwalk, you know, over by South Road along the water there. It's gonna be wider, bigger, nicer. And it's gonna continue on somewhat across, we have an easement across Groton Utilities property to continue a path through there, try to connect things up. So there's a lot of exciting, it'll be kind of a nice little government and sports hub for the
Youth
town.
center of town.
Yeah,
Real
yeah,
center of
yeah.
town.
That's the intent.
You have any other questions?
Nope.
Representative Umbris, any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, seeing none, I'll request everyone for a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? No, that passes. Okay, I think we've done with our business. Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay. Thank you, folks. Thank you, Tom. Appreciate you coming.
Thank you, guys.
See you soon.
Yep, see you soon.